Hello, welcome to Paxton Road TV. This is the Paxton Road TV reaction show. I am Sam Spurs for life, and we're just going off the back of a defeat to Southampton. Tottenham Hotspur 2, Southampton 3. End of the Premier League game just finished. I'm joined in the house by my esteemed colleague Sean L. Before we start, make sure you hit that like button if you can. Smash the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Put your comments through, and we'll endeavor to get through them. Okay, let me put the banner up in the background. I don't know. Sure, we go from the highs of the Brighton performance. We look at the way that the team seem to have got a new lease of life. They go and play a good team in Brighton. I thought we were going to have a very similar type of approach today with a team that likes to have possession. It was a complete, utter, disaster. What I say, I can't even use the word. It is a disaster. And the only real difference to me today was we can't play under pressure. Continuously, all Southampton did was put pressure on anybody that was receiving the ball in all areas of the pitch. So even the goalkeeper, Lloris, was getting pressured to make decisions early. He was going to the defenders. They were getting told, oh, you've got to make a decision early now because we're pressing you down. As soon as it goes into midfield, bam, then that's it. So we lose the ball. Then we start to try and play long. And when we play long to them and give them the ball back, we don't do exactly the same. We give them time to play out. Our press was half-hearted. We'll get there and then we'll stand off. When you're going to do that sort of full press, you've got to press and commit. You've got to make them make decisions. They were easily very comfortable playing the ball around us. And that was the big difference between the two teams today. Yes, they had more opportunities to score goals. Yes, they probably had a better formation in terms of their midfield area today. Our players can't play under pressure. They could. But the effort, the fact that they were losing at home to us and they look like the home team, they can come back from being 2-1 down to win the game. That's telling for me. I don't know what you thought of the actual performance today, but I'm shocked by just that lack of matching them. We only did it for about 10-15 minutes in the second half. What did you think, Sean?
I think we've said it on probably previous streams that you can tell what sort of Tottenham performance it's going to be in the first few minutes. And in those first few minutes, Southampton established what they were going to do. And what was really good about their pressing, and you're right to point it out, was that they allowed Sanchez to go free because they know that Sanchez is the weak point when it comes to passing out of the field. The only time we made any progress in that first half was when Romero was free and he could pass. And there were one or two really incredible passes that he made. But
so there was that one pass. You remember that one pass, that one defense splitting pass that he played through the middle, which went into Lucas. We did that once or twice in the game today. There was so many opportunities here. We're going to add Sid into this one. Welcome, Sid. We're just getting through this debacle. Sorry, let's get us back in. That's a bit bad. As I said, we didn't try to beat that press too often. We either play over the top of it and get quality balls in behind. When we did that, we got opportunities to score, but then not being able to play, not having that sort of Modric to receive the ball, not having that Moussa Dembele to receive the ball. Those type of players, I know they're just going back, but those type of players that can receive in very tight areas. Steve, I'm just going to have to smooth your microphone on that one. Just can't receive under that sort of pressure and then allow them to have the ball back. And then that's, the transitions for Southampton were really good. They're really quick. Watching that, it seems like the guys were a bit shocked. But we played them in, just after Christmas and pretty much the same thing. The only reason why the score was different because they went down to 10 men. What is it about teams that put us under pressure, Sean, that we can't seem to deal with it?
Well, we haven't got the defence splitting players, the ones with the passes, but equally, the ball doesn't stick when it goes up front. Only Kane seems the only one capable of playing with his back to goal. I mean, again, Mora, the balls were bouncing off of him. Same with Son at points as well, and it was. I mean, we kind of took the lead against the run of play, to be honest. And it's just so disappointing. I can see Derek's put in there about Ward-Prowse. I mean, I must admit, I've not been convinced by Ward-Prowse, but tonight he was head and shoulders above everyone on that field tonight. He was incredible.
He was a complete midfielder, but again, he didn't have the two quality crosses that he put in for the goals, obviously. But again, no pressure on him. You know, if he's given time and space, he is going to put in a quality ball. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? So again, all he was doing in the midfield was a collective press. I put it down here. Saints are collectively better us than the pressing. So as soon as they saw the trigger for one player receiving the ball in ours, you start saying, if you've got a slight, back to goal or the head's down or the ball's coming at speed, they're on it. But then the next person behind the person who's then going to receive for Spurs, because it's all predictable play, knows that they're going to pass to them. So they're on that person. So every time Son, Lucas, or Kane, they had a man exactly on them. So if we haven't got players that can receive in tight areas and turn and beat that, which Lucas does every now and again, but a lot of the times when the ball's coming to him high, it just bounces off him, like you said. We can't play that next pass. You beat that first press, that one man. Bentancur showed a degree of that in that cameo he played, but again, not being up to speed with the game, that maybe just faded a little bit. But even in that little cameo, I was seeing get that ball a little bit composed.
I saw more from Bentancur than both Højbjerg and Winks tonight. And I love Harry, but he had a very poor game where he reverted to type, playing backwards safely. It was only latterly in the second half that he managed to sort of swing in. He managed to get a few balls forward, but even then, it was far too late. The game had turned, and we were, to be fair, as I said before, based on the first half alone, the correct result came out today, and we can't moan about the VAR because Bergwijn's clearly offside, and it's a very, very brutal night. We've learned some really harsh lessons tonight.
Talk to me about the goals. Our goals that we scored, like I said, we actually got the first goal. I think it was a crossfield ball from Davis, went out to, I think it was Royal on the other side. A little bit of combination play between him and Mora. Mora get the ball, good threaded through ball. I think then came across, threaded through ball to Højbjerg. Højbjerg then made that crossfield and it got kind of touching. Son would have scored it had it not got the touching from the player anyway. But apart from that bit of incision, we had, and the stats will show, we had opportunities to score, but again,
I think Reguilon had a good opportunity, didn't he? But I mean, I'm sure if you just did the first half stats, they had far more opportunities than we did.
Oh, the stats are quite scary. Just have a look at some of these comments here. So Mary McGee, it happens all the time. Now Spurs don't do pressure. It's so annoying. We need consistency. This is almost like a blueprint for how teams like Manchester City are going to play against us. This is almost like a mini Manchester City game in terms of how.
Look at Southampton have given Man City a game in both league games and taken points off them in each one. Exactly.
But their quality in terms of, if they had some real quality up front, like that Brozier looks good, looks like a good player. But imagine they had a Kane up front for them, or someone who could really score 20 to 30 goals a season. They would be absolutely phenomenal. They'd be flying. And to be fair to them, the football that they play, the way that they collectively press hands, Hasenhüttl deserves good credit for that. But it can be beaten. You can take it apart if you play in the right way, but you have to have the players who can play under that pressure. Too many times we see in players who can't do that. What did you think of their goals? That their first one being that mistake from Ben Davies?
Again, a terrible slip, one of many throughout the night that our play seemed to make, as if they didn't bring the right boots tonight. I don't remember, apart from Walker Peters, I think he's the only one I ever saw slip in the Southampton shirt in the second half. They just look badly prepared, and it's not, as you say, it's not as if they don't know what Southampton will do. We only played them a month ago. I mean, it was
just over a month ago.
It's shocking, but I mean, it's very hard to talk at the moment because I'm just so, the deflation after the weekend is unreal.
But what is it? What is it? What's gone from the performance on Saturday when we talked about the intensity, we talked about the players looking like they were playing for each other, looking like they were playing for the manager. It can't just be down to a bit of pressure and all that breaks down. Surely there's a bit more robustness about the players that they can deal with the pressure. Harry Kane, he made some really good, a bits of ability under pressure. You could see holding up the ball, but not enough of it. Son doesn't seem to be able to do that like I would like him to do. And I think that's a trait that I've seen in a number of times in play in terms of real pressure on him. Getting that ball. He likes to have that ball facing up players, knocking it by him. When there's his backs to goal, it's a little bit more difficult for him. As with Mora, they like to be able to face players up and run at them. When their backs to goal, they haven't got Kane's ability. So that's where you need someone who's going to hold up. Just what Bentancur did, and I keep going back to that, get it, give it, move it quicker so that you can get somebody else in an opportunity to move the ball. But too many times it was too lackluster in our pace to move the ball. And Southampton looked fitter. And we're talking about our fitness, and they look fitter today. Explain that to one to me, Sean. I don't know where you can go on that one.
I mean, where can you go? They had quite a tough cup tie, I believe, and they had to go extra time to beat Coventry in the end. So they would have been, they would have had, as much rest or as we had. I thought too many of our players were passing responsibility to other people. I mean, and I don't know what was up with Hotspur tonight, but he was just dreadful from minute one. I mean, other than the cross, which the guy turned into his own net, can you think of anything positive that Hotspur did tonight?
Not really, because when you're playing in a 2, you need a little bit more than being an enforcer. I know he got forward and had an assist in that goal, but he doesn't do enough of that, not on a consistent basis. And certainly when pressure's applied, I don't think he's the best at wriggling himself out and then finding that next player. He likes to be in that back line. Again, another player that likes to receive, facing the direction so he can play the passes forward. You need players that can receive in any area, a la Modric. Get it? They already know where they're going to play it, but they can receive it.
Hammered that, be prepared to take the ball, be prepared to take a kick in the back, but be prepared to make yourself available and don't, and press the ball upwards. I'm sure that's what Conte's been telling to them. I mean, God knows what his press conference will be like tonight.
Do you agree with this?
He's the only Spurs member of staff who showed any passion tonight when Southampton were getting, uppity about the second goal.
The second goal. But again, this is what Amick saying. Amick Crow said we just didn't have any passion tonight. That was the most disgusting part. As I said, can it be just down to surely
the
these players?
The mentality that.
But we went from praising that mentality on a Brighton performance to this. Again, I can accept teams coming to our pitch and playing better football. I think we can all accept that. There's going to be teams that are going to come and do that. But we should not have teams outfight us. We should not have teams outbattle us. We should not have teams being able to come back from being down at our ground and quite comfortably go ahead of us. That was the other thing. They scored and they scored again quite comfortably.
We scored. Son scored in the 79th minute, was it? That's 11 minutes before. 11 minutes to go.
Let's get to some of these stats here, because this again it's frustrating me. It's just like it's one of them games where you expect a lot more from the team given how they play. Given how they play. Okay, so let's get into this. Well, it's Tottenham 2, Southampton 3. A Bednarak own goal on 18 minutes. Son after 70 minutes. Brozier scored for them after 23. Elanusi 79. Then Shea Adams 82. Possession-wise, 47% to their 53. Shots, again, this is a real scary one. 8 shots to us, 23 shots to Southampton. 3 shots on target, 10 shots on target to Southampton. 2 corners, 8 to them. 7 fouls, 13 to them. They're more aggressive. They had more of the ball. They had more shot attempts. They got more opportunities from set plays. In all aspects of today's performance, they were the home team and looked by far the better team in all aspects of their performance.
Yeah, they deservedly won. They deservedly won. And it's inexplicable how the team that we saw on Saturday night turns up tonight and plays like they did. It's almost as if, you know, oh God, they didn't fancy it. It was a bit wet. The rain was coming down.
Given the result yesterday, West Ham winning, just about escaping from getting that 1-0 win. Manchester United obviously drawing at the bottom team Burnley yesterday. Surely that's enough of an incentive for players to go out and show passion. Like I said before, it's okay when players or teams come and perform better than you. You don't usually want that at home, but you can accept it. But desire, passion, will to win mentality. Can we say that we've turned the corner if we can't get back-to-back wins against teams like Brighton and Southampton?
No, I don't think we have turned the corner. Tonight was a salutary lesson that when you get our back line, it's, you know, the fear spreads right through it. And I mean, it even affected Hugo tonight at points. It was, you know, he was never, you know, although he made some incredible saves and kept it down at points, he was not as commanding in the box as he has been all season. I look in horror at that Davis clearance for the first goal. Sanchez all night being bullied by a Chelsea youth. No one really in the back line, perhaps Mora, but even he, you know, was anonymous at times and was trying to do too much because the rest of the defence around him was crumbling. It was just
forcing mistakes out of us, Sean. They forced mistakes out of us.
They forced mistakes, and it affected the confidence. Our confidence in the back line is brittle, based on tonight. Brittle.
Absolutely. Apart from Romero, who I thought was well, he was even they played 2 up top. So you're going to expect 2 against 3 at the back because we want to try and play a little bit of attacking with our either side of our centre backs in terms of Davis and Sanchez. We weren't able to do that as much tonight. So they were pushed back because of the 2 that they played against. But again, it was no different.
Who were they pushed back by? Shea Evans, Ambrosia, Chelsea kid.
Yeah. But no different to how they played against us, like you said, just over a month ago. So again, you have to set up slightly differently. You have to have a little bit more control. That's all I wanted to see, a little bit more. They did it. You know, they showed that they can have the temperament to play football under pressure. They made mistakes. They gave it away once or twice. It allowed us to have the transition in the counter. But they did. That's a risk-reward analysis. They said, right, we can do this. And the other thing that you pointed out really well was they allowed certain players to have the ball. They allowed Sanchez to have it because they knew he weren't going to do anything. Did Hasenhüttl outclass Conte tonight?
That is a clear weak link, the right-hand side of our defence, because if Sanchez and Royal just don't speak the same language, you know, I mean, I know they're both from different countries and it's Portuguese in one and Spanish in the other, but they just don't. They can't cover for each other. And, you know, the number of times that Royal's receiving the ball facing the wrong way. He's facing the wrong way on the touchline. And then, oh God, late in that second half, they were almost tripping over each other, Royal and Sanchez. It was just, it was just, I mean, it's clear that I'm hoping that when Dyer comes back, that to the right wing, we won't have that problem, because it's alarming how Southampton, who, you know, are a good side, honest side, put us under so much pressure tonight and deservedly won the game.
But again, this is what I'm saying. Just to being able to apply pressure should not be able to outdo a Spurs team that's managed by Conte. That's my point. And they've done that twice now. We were lucky to get away with it in the first game against them just over a month ago because they went down to 10 men. And they still performed at a decent level with and without the ball. That shows, I think this shows what Conte is talking about. Although he needs players he can rely on, he does need some more technical-minded players. Our midfield, as much as you said, we've had that Winks renaissance. When put under pressure, gives the ball away. Too many sideways passes. You want to see him skip that one man. Right, I've beat him now. Bentancur, if he doesn't start against Wolves, I think a lot of people have actually said that it's going to be a bit of a crime because in the 30 minutes or 27 minutes that he had, he just showed that little bit of composure. Now, again, I think he's going to need to operate with more than just one other person in midfield because we were getting overrun when it was just two. So I hope that gets addressed and maybe have a slightly different, because if they can do it, Wolves are a good team. Wolves are, in fact, probably better than what this lot are. So if we think you had a bit of a tough time tonight, when we play Wolves on the weekend, it's going to be very, very similar. They keep the ball very well.
And they're in and around the European places, so they're no mugs. They've had a good season. It took a while for them to bed in. We were lucky that we played them early in the season when they were still finding out about the new coach to get the points at their place. But, every time they've come up, since they've come up, I think we've won at their place and they've always won at us. So, yeah, very, very harsh lesson here. I see through the reflection there that Conte's on BT Sport now, but I'm not able to hear or see what he's saying. Oh, shocking.
And if this is true, if Paul said this, Southampton made 10 changes from the FA Cup game. So I don't know what FA Cup team that they put out, but let's just say if they've made 10 changes and they were able to still perform at the level they were today, that's quite frightening. Because I would imagine the team that they played against, who did they play? I don't know.
Coventry.
Coventry. They probably had a few players that were, not first teamers potentially. But again, there's not enough excuse for me. Fitness is not an excuse. I'm not having that one. As he said, 3-4-3 won't work without our midfield until Skip returns. I agree with you. I think it needs more legs in there. Michael Bennett, let's say Conte made a bad decision with his starting line. Let's get to the starting lineup indeed.
Well, hold on a second. It's the same starting lineup from Saturday.
Yeah, it was.
And we said that was good.
And like I said, when you look at it, Lloris in goal, Sanchez, Romero, Davis made up the back three. Emerson, Winks, Højbjerg, Reguilon in the midfield four with the wing backs, obviously. Mora, Kane, Son, again, playing as a tight free unit. They weren't probably playing wide. The width came from Reguilon and Emerson. One thing that I wanted to kind of, if I could get onto the pitch and shout, Emerson, you've got to be as attacking as Reguilon is. When you're relying on this system, both your wing backs, it's the risk-reward thing again. You have to be as high up as the other one is to try and make this work. And enough times, it happened a bit more in the second half.
I mean, Sorry.
Go on.
No, I was just saying Conte's Inter used to score lots of goals, one fall back to the other, coming up with the back post, Pausing.
It's the way it has to be.
Abbott.
Yeah. Tom Lowe said, never stop raining either. Fair weather players are lads, soft touch, pathetic. I would hope that the weather didn't make that much of a difference. Let's pray the scum draw tomorrow with Wolves, and then we smash Wolves Sunday. Gavin from Michael. As he said, in the midfield, sit back and play zonal mid-block. Is this Conte's tactic? Do you know what? I don't know what the tactic actually was. It kind of changed. I think they were almost surprised. It looked like to me they wanted to get possession, realised that Southampton were better. Then we kind of went, let's play a bit more of a transition counter-attack. Then we tried to get possession again, and then they kept pressing us, and we kept giving the ball. We were in between all kinds of strategies today. There was nothing cohesive in terms of the strategy.
It's almost like we needed two up front with one in the 10 position or something like that,
Yeah, and there was not
just
changing
have something
it.
to pass to.
Again, could Conte have not made that little bit of adjustment? Because I really think we were being overrun in that midfield area. Make it hard in the midfield. Make them go out wide as well. It was just a bit too easy. And again, because their 2 goals came from Ward-Prowse, not quite central goal, but if you look at the position where he received the ball, he had nobody around him both times, and he is too good with the ball at his feet, with space, to not put it on a sixpence, which he did.
Yeah, but equally, they weren't defended very well, were they?
No, they weren't. I keep hearing we're going to get top 4. We lose at home. Wait till we go City, Pool, United. 10 losses incoming minimum. Reality check. That's from Daryl Denton there. Wow, horrendous stats. Yeah, the stats are not good. Sean, does anybody get any credit from today's performance from a Spurs team?
Well, as I say, the only bit of quality was Benton Cole when he came on as a substitute, I thought. Hugo for keeping it down, but even he looked shaky tonight, coming for corners, which were never in his place to come for. Reguilon was a winning runner, but our crosses again, too often were too low or not in the right place. Or there was one shocking cross from Lucas in the second half where it was he passed it to the near post and the keeper just it's like a back pass. I think Audio's right there. I think we do need 3 in midfield. I think we need to play 3-5-2, to be honest.
But Sean, we can see that this. I'm not being funny, but again, we can see this. I was screaming, right? We just need to get. All you need to do, match them to have 2 up top. Son and Kane up top together is a lethal partnership. Then you can put more just in behind and make him do all that darting about because he's got energy. Mm-hmm. Press and press and press and make them make mistakes. Get our players to make them make mistakes and then get the ball back. As when we showed we did that, it worked. They did it to us constantly and we made mistakes. Just match them up for intensity. Again, I'm not seeing enough of that. We did change to a back 4 where we went 3-2 down, but I think it's too late after that. Do you know what I mean? It's too late to still start doing that. We've got to match a team that has got more possession in a different way. So disappointing from that perspective. Let's have a look at a couple more comments here. Conte outclassed, give it a rest, mate. I'm not sure if he was outclassed. I think he was just a little bit surprised that Southampton were able to maintain what they did today. 3-5-2 has to be the way forward. That's what you were saying. I think we've both been saying that, Sean. Give credit where it's due. Gunner King's laughing. Thank you, Gunner. When you play Wolves tomorrow, I might come and have a little bit of a laugh as well. But no, to be fair, you can have the laugh. Spurs are in the mud. In the mud, Spurs are in the mud. Thank you for that rendition. Glad we haven't got Sid on here to do any more songs. Hasn't spotted our weakness. We didn't spot theirs. Precisely as he's.
Yeah.
What do you want to see for the next game in terms of the choice? Because, like I said, I think we've talked about maybe a change of formation slightly to maybe having someone playing this number 10. Do you think that Kulusevski should be given an opportunity, maybe playing there, or should we maintain this starting 11? Because I think for me, we need to get Dyer back in there so Romero can go on that right hand side, and we also need to get 100%. We need to get Skip back in that midfield. Definitely. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I think 3-5-2 is the way forward. Whether Moore is that number 10 or Kulusevski, I'm not sure. I would probably try Kulusevski for that because he's, he'll be itching at the bit, to go and have a go at them. So I think that's the that's the way I'd like to see it forward. Yeah. Can someone stop this guy?
No, it's Gunner King. We've got to let Gunner King have his laugh because, like I said, it all comes back to bite them. So I'm allowing them to have their laugh tonight. It will come back to bite them.
Not up to 1919, it wasn't. Anyway, I won't go into that. I think we need three midfielders, and the wing backs. I would give Royal a rest and try our other man who, you know, had a decent half against Leicester and hasn't played since, which surprised me, other than in our formation against Chelsea. You know, I don't think Reguilon can be dropped, so I wouldn't be calling for Sessegnon for him. But yeah, there's the midfield. You know, Bentancur has got to start. He's got to start. He's the
100%. 100, and I think we've got to get a slight change of system as well. I do believe we have to go into that maybe a 3-4-1-2. I think we just need to have a little bit more dominance in midfield, if I'm honest with you. And there wasn't enough dominance. And when put under pressure, you want players who can receive in tight areas or at least win the ball back quicker. Do you know what I mean? When we lose the ball, we don't win it back quick enough. When I saw them lose it, I saw every effort to try and get the ball back and turn it back over quicker in terms of possession. So there's got to be an aspect to that that's got to go into our game. Dear, I'm disappointed. Final thoughts then, Sean, before we wrap this up. Disappointing result, I know. We have to take the positives from the Brighton game. We're looking at another team in Wolves at the weekend who are going to be good in possession. There does need to be some form of change in there in terms of tactics. What do you think Conte is going to be saying to these guys tonight?
I'll imagine he will. I will imagine he'll feel quite sore. You know, he'll know Southampton are a good organised team, but Wolves are a good organised team with some could hurt you. So, you know, if Wolves had been in that first half in the same.
I think I might just have lost you there, Sean, if you are still there. But just add you back in there.
Sorry, mate.
Not sure what happened there, but you did disappear for a second there. But so just give me your final thoughts then for the game for tonight, and then obviously we're looking forward to for
very, very poor performance, a bit of a reality check. I don't know. I'm sure Højbjerg will play better than that, but he was dreadful tonight, and I agree with Eddie on that. And we just move on. You know, we have to move on.
Yeah, I think move on. We have to do. There was going to need to be a few changes in this team. I think to play 3 matches in a row with the same team. I do hope Dyer's back. I really do hope Dyer's back to help with that defense, because that one extra player then moves Sanchez into a different position, which I think will have a little bit more effect. But that midfield, I think we've got to see a combination of at least Skip in there with one of the others. I would love to see Skip and Bentancur, but whether or not Conte decides to throw that in, I can't see it. 2 players will be quite young. I think he's probably going to stick with the experience of Højbjerg. So it'll be Højbjerg, one other. Will it be Højbjerg and Skip? Will it be Højbjerg and Bentancur? I think that's probably going to need to be the way forward. But thank you for watching. Hit that like button. There's been over 40 of you watching at this point in time. Please, everybody, hit the like button. Also, subscribe if you're new to Paxton TV. Make sure you also look out to send us all of your predictions for the game against Wolves. I'm going to try to, let me see if I can just do it whilst we're talking. Put the number in the top right-hand corner of the screen. So if you send them via WhatsApp, it's +44 7774 364 819. That will give you the details and will get us lots and lots of predictions for the game. We had lots of predictions on our preview show. We were talking 3-1s and 4-1s and 3-0s. And we always caveat that with it's Tottenham. Dr. Tottenham may come and see you now. Sean, how many times do we do this? How many times do we do this?
We'll continue. I will continue to put myself through this until I'm pushing up the daisies. And it's good for me. I have to convince myself it's good for me.
This is the only part. It's the being able to release that that therapy session, which, you know, having this allows you to do. You'll still go away and thinking, what happened there? Why did this happen? Why couldn't we done that? But, you know, having this allows us to at least explain to ourselves why things happen. And it's difficult, but we always come in. So, Sean, thank you very much for that. Again, please make sure you hit that like button. Send in your comments. As always, thank you to all those who have been watching. It's been disappointing. An opportunity gone, a home opportunity gone. Southampton did deserve the win, so they thoroughly deserved that. So Spurs 2, Southampton 3. Oh, I'm drained, and I think it's time for us to go. Sean, thank you very much. We will see you again soon. Take care, viewers. Thank you. Bye.